Rundown, December 11th. Portnoy is dead. He's no longer here with us. So we're going to start with the dick autograph on Steve Harvey's daytime talk show, which I didn't know existed. He had a game called Is It Weird? Which, if you have to ask, the answer is yes. But it had contestants coming on and asking psychiatrists or psychologists, whatever the fucking difference is, if what they do with their significant other is weird. This chick, every time her boyfriend leaves the house, she autographs his penis and takes a picture of it. And when he comes back home, she matches it up with the picture to make sure he didn't cheat or anything.
So we both come up with this idea that if I get a marker out and sign his private parts and then take a picture of it, he can go enjoy his guy time and I can enjoy my evening and not stress. And then he comes home and he shows it to me. I look at the camera and it has to match. And my question to you is it weird for me to sign my boyfriend's private parts to have a secure feeling?
Kev, what do you got for me?
There's a lot to dig into here. The first thing that jumped out at me was when she poses the question to the psychiatrist. She realizes how ridiculous she is. She's like, so my question to you is it weird that I autograph his private parts when he leaves? Like, yeah, bitch, you know that's fucking...
Yeah, if you gotta ask.
It's a great idea. I mean, I get it. It's like comparing, remember highlights where you compared the pages? What's different? If the dick has changed, he's stuck it inside of something. I guess the main thing, though, is if you let your girl do this to you, you are the biggest bitch on the planet. I mean, you get your dick hard and then let her write on it and then you go out for the night. I just don't understand how it logistically goes down. And if you allow that to happen, you are a pussy of epic proportions.
I was just waiting for you to call me in there. I was just waiting for the tag.
What you want to know what just happened is my dad just walked up the stairs. Real.
Mr. Fights, come on in.
I had second thoughts about everything I'm about to say now. Like it's a real fucking twist we just got thrown at us. Dan, what do you got?
It is not weird for the girl because girls are crazy. And that's just like, I bet you if you asked every chick if they were able to do this, if they're able to get away with it, they'd be like, yeah, I'd love to be able to do that. It's very weird for the guy because that's just fucking insane that he's still in this relationship. But I will say this, when I used to live, with a bunch of guys, I'd like count my cookies in like, you know what I mean? Like see, or if I had a snack or something, or like rearrange my leftovers a certain way, just to make sure that no one was fucking with it. So I get it. Like if you love something, if you love food, if you love your guy's dick, you gotta tag it. You gotta make sure that no one's fucking with it.
The first thing that jumped out at me is how old she is. It really gives me the heebies when someone like that age says their boyfriend or their girlfriend. I know it's right and there's no other word for it, but as a society, we have to think of something for like 50-plus-year-old people to stop being like, when my boyfriend leaves the house. He's not your boyfriend. That's like high school shit. When you're that age, you're not a boyfriend.
I mean, there's a reason why you're not married when you're 50. It's because you're autographing dudes' dicks, babe.
But also, like, you got to get your best friend to just really fucking learn how to forge your signature. Right?
Or whoever you're hooking up with.
Just really, I mean, I remember in elementary school, you used to have to, when you got like a failing grade on a test, you had to take it home and have your parents sign it. I worked harder on practicing my parents' signatures than I did on the homework itself. Like, whatever, I'm going to fail it, but at least I perfected the signature last night. And then you just bring that in, and that's it. You come home, and you're like, here you go, honey. Here's my dick. It's a perfect signature. It matches with the camera. There we go. Next up is and that's why you do that instead of breaking up with her, because that chick is bananas. So you know she's a good time. She's nuts. So you just keep that going and you just work on a couple other things. All right, next is the guy leaving the club and just giving the chick a straight facial puke. Dan, what do you got? Like, I mean, it was she's walking in, and as he's leaving, he pukes right in her face. Dan, I tried to describe that one as good as I could for you, because
I didn't watch the video, just so everyone's clued in. I didn't read or watch any of the things today because the internet sucked today. So we're gonna try to change it up and just have a little, like, at least my brain just go, whatever comes to mind. If this is what I think it is and what I'm visualizing, we've all been there. When you take a shot at the bar and you're like, I gotta puke, and then you're just swallowing it, and you can't go to the bathroom. So you just run out, and the second you get outside, you puke. So sorry that you're there, but I feel like this happens this happens a good amount of times. It's just this time it got caught on camera.
So it's basically her fault. Like, why did you get your face in the way of my puke?
It's not her fault per se, but it's one of those things where if it's raining out, you might get wet. Like if you look at the forecast and it's like, oh, it's gonna rain today, you might end up getting wet. If you're gonna go out to a bar in like a young hip place, you might get puked on. It just happens. That shit happens.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I understand it. The difference here is that this chick truly takes a facial of puke and doesn't do a fucking thing about it. It's like splashes on her face, and then she just kind of looks at him like, what happened? Her boyfriend is kind of like, that sucks. If someone puked directly on my face, first of all, I'm instantly puking myself right on your face. And then I am swinging, I'm kicking, I'm stabbing, I'm gouging out your eyes, I'm doing everything. If you puke on my face, I'm going to murder you in cold blood.
Her reaction was incredible. Like, it was, I guess, I don't know, I don't even guess I would have that shock. It would be like in Family Guy where there's that clip of them just everyone puking all over each other for 5 minutes. That's what, or in The Office when Pam pukes and then the whole office does. That's what it would be. If you throw up on top of me, it's instantly I'm puking. But it's almost like really degrading because she's a level below and she's kind of just looking up at him like, dude, what was that? Her face is priceless. But Dan, I totally agree with you too. With like, your mouth is just sweating, and you're trying to swallow it, and you're like, if I don't talk, if no one bumps into me, if I just stand perfectly still for 5 minutes, I'll gut this.
You swallow saliva.
Yeah. And they can see it on your face, so they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like,
"Don't talk to me."
3.5 minutes. Stop talking to me, or I'm gonna puke on you.
And then when it finally happens, you gotta run. That's what happens. Next up, Ariana Grande. I don't know if it's Ariana Grande or Ariana Grande. I say Grande like a coffee. Everyone's black. Ariana Grande. She doesn't walk. She's done with walking. She has handlers who carry her like a baby wherever she goes. That's her thing. Her I believe the quote was, her feet are too precious to touch the ground. Dan, this is you.
So the blog that I wrote, it basically, if you can pull this off, you have to do it. So I don't begrudge Ariana Grande for being like a diva. If I could have someone carry me around all the time, I would do it in a second. My question is, the guy who carries her around, what leads you to that point in your life where you have that little self-respect where you're like, I'm just going to be a human carrier now? Like, did you go to college? Did you have a job before this? Are you, do you have some kind of weird debt to someone that you have to do these weird jobs? Like, I just can't imagine what would get me to the point where I'm just carrying another human being around for my job.
Money, bro.
If my memory serves me correctly, the only people in history who have carried humans are slaves.
Right.
Like Egyptian slaves, Roman slaves. If you're carrying a person, you're a slave. That's pretty much how it goes.
I mean, it's pimp shit. I love this move. Like, not walking, not touching the ground ever again is as cocky as it gets. It reminds me of Arrested Development when they carry around Martin Short. He has to shoot him everywhere. But, I mean, to your point, Dan, I just think it's money. Like, if Ariana Grande was just like, I'll give you, like, $500,000 or some shit to carry you around.
No way, though. No way she pays her that.
Yeah,
like, I agree it's money. But, like, what would it be? What would your salary have to be Ariana Grande's human carrier?
I mean, I would do that for, like, $100,000.
That's what I said.
75 grand. Like,
That's-
I mean, you can't possibly carry around that much. You're basically just like one of her posse.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I would do it for right around that, and maybe like to have sex with her every now and then.
See, that's what I was.
Where do you guys stand on her? I feel like a lot of people are acting like she's like young looking and small. She's fucking sexy as shit.
Nope, that's what I was gonna say. I don't believe you. I don't believe you if you tell me she's a day over 16. I don't believe you. And this doesn't help. And I like being carried around like a baby. Doesn't help her age thing.
Whatever, man. It's sexy. I'm into it. It's like some fairly legal shit.
Coming from a guy who yesterday says he likes to trap girls, saying I like the 16-year-old girl who likes to be carried like a baby, I don't care, isn't something you should.
I can't believe that you look at that girl and you're just like, no, I'm not attracted to her.
She's cute, but like, I just don't trust myself. I don't believe her age. She's like what's his dick? Who's the guy from the Little League World Series?
Danny Almonte?
She's got like a fake birth certificate. She's not 21 years old. That's some bullshit. She's just like, because everyone's so into young looking things, they just forge her certificate and like, we'll carry the chick around like a baby and we'll just pretend she's 21. They'll all believe us. And you fell into the trap. Next, sex offender. Good segue. Just born into it. Sex offender wins $3 million, I believe, in the Florida lottery, of course. Any other state, you wouldn't believe it. Dan, go ahead.
This just goes into exactly what we always say, that if you have to win the lottery, you can't be a normal person. You can't live in a normal place. You have to live in a trailer. You have to be a meth head, no teeth, sex offender. Like this is how you become a lottery winner. So if this guy like got in front of everyone, was like, oh yeah, I actually diddled those boys so that eventually I could win the lottery, I'd be like, you know what? That actually isn't that bad of a plan, to just have your life fall apart and end up in a fucking trailer in the backwoods of Florida, because that's who wins the lottery, not regular people.
The minute you become like slightly poor, the minute you're just struggling a little bit, move down south, go kill someone. Because that's your only play at that point. That's a better play than trying to get back on your feet. This story does not do well for you, Dan, based on our conversation yesterday about karma on KFC Radio.
I said that. I said that. It kills all the karma. And I think the lottery is like that, though. The lottery, like, you have to be a scumbag to win the lottery. It doesn't happen to good people. So, and this guy, he is like the worst. He's not only a sexual predator, but he's like a fat, gross piece of shit. I said it in the blog. He's the movie Seven in real life.
You know, Kevin, first of all, this is kind of a vindicating article for you. Like, you were just ahead of your time.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I mean, I've always said this. This has always been my play. Yeah.
But I mean, you've written this blog. You've written the lottery. The pedophile wins the lottery. You wrote this blog 4 years ago.
It's just,
oh yeah. I don't think we can talk about that still. I don't think we can talk about that still.
We're still no. Okay.
Moving on.
Anyway, that didn't happen. But yeah, I agree that you have to be like this is the kind of guy you have to be to win it. Remember, you know, like when you go to a sporting event and they have the giveaways, like the T-shirts or like the week of Papa John's or whatever it is, and it's always someone way up top who wins. Like there's someone in the front row never wins the fucking giveaway at the arena that night. No one, because they have everything already. Their life is good. They're interested in the game because they have good seats. They can see everything. You got to do something like this to keep everyone else up top from jumping. That's what the lottery is. It's like it's just a lifeline to people who are poor pieces of shit. Like, hey, one day your life could turn around. You could win this lottery, no matter what you've ever done.
So you think like without the lottery, we'd have like mass suicides all the time or something?
Which is the best idea ever. Just get rid of the lottery. Drop the bottom third. Bottom third of people, just get them out of here. They'll let them take their own lives, let them do whatever, and then we're all kind of all right after that. You get the bottom
third's pushing it because I don't know where I really fall. Maybe we can do bottom 10.
I play the lottery all the time.
Oh, I went through a phase where I was big into scratchies, but it was a short phase.
I play the lottery all the time.
I never have. Next up,
Whenever I have an extra couple bucks, I play the lottery.
when we were on the Blackout tour, when I was younger, we had Dave's credit card, and I was always trying to buy stuff with that. But I that's when I learned. I stopped playing the lottery when I learned you had to pay cash. Next up is chick fight over the lunch line in high school, I think. Just takes one of those plastic trays and shatters it on her. It was like a WWE match. Kevin, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't know what that tray was, but that shattering and that noise, it was like a hardcore match. Remember when hardcore matches first started in WWF and it was like the greatest thing ever? Cookie sheets and like all sorts of weird weapons were coming out. Whatever that lunch tray is should be in the mix. And that cop at the end pulling out the taser or whatever, I mean, that was an incredible response to two fucking animals going at it.
That's a good point with the old hardcore matches, like when ECW and all that shit, when they used to like actually fight with barbed wire and stuff,
Yeah.
and Mankind would get thrown on a bunch of tacks. So yeah, I agree with you on that. That we need to bring that back. And yeah, the story is the cop. I've never seen that was a crazy fucking cop, whatever he was, just coming in so fast, which made me even think it was a little staged because I feel like a mall security or a high school security guard, they don't move that fast. That was really fast.
First of all, I think it was over by the register, which is probably where he hangs out. That's probably where they stage a security guard. And second of all, that guy's been waiting for that moment for 5 years. So yeah, he jumped into action. For 5 years, he's just been like, hey, don't steal that kid's extra potato puff or whatever and keep it coming. And he was fine. I mean, that's why he was fucking, what's his name? Doc Holliday with the draw on that thing. As soon as one fist started flying, it was boom, taser. Everyone calm down. Everyone calm down.
It depends on what kind of school it was, you know. If that's like in the hood or something, some like nasty, grimy place, you might be quick with the draw with your taser gun.
I'm not gonna hate on the girls either, though. Some days in lunch line, blood's necessary. Like chicken patty day. Or the pizza day with the pizza that looks like it sucks and then it's the most delicious thing ever. Yeah, you'll get a tray to the head.
Chicken patty day. I think that's like the most universal thing. I think every fucking kid. If you didn't like chicken patty day, you can get the fuck out of my life. I don't want to know you.
I actually love sloppy joes, but I went through a long phase of where I was scared to eat them because of the Adam Sandler song, "The Lunch Ladyland," and I was like, I'm like, there must be something gross about sloppy joes. I can't eat these. And then the first time I had one, I was like, holy shit, these things are delicious.
It's just meat. It's just delicious meat.
Yeah, it's so good. That's it for the rundown. I'm going to go see what my dad wants.
Wait, we got to do...
Hey, no, we're going to do it. I'm just going to see if he's still here. Dad? No, you left.
Dad, this is weird. This is very weird, having a parent show up.
Hey, so how about Dave... like becoming like what's the movie with Robert De Niro and Billy Crystal? The psychiatrist. What the fuck is
analyze this?
Yeah. And Robert De Niro starts crying at the commercials. That's like Dave right now. He's getting old. He's getting beaten up on Twitter. He's crying at commercials because of like fake commercials with like daughters and shit. What is going on? It's menopause.
The blog game is a lot like it's like sports. It's like you
low T. Dave's got low T right now. He needs some cream.
You can have some good years in you when you're like 34, 35, even 36, and you think that this guy's going to play till he's like 40, and then all of a sudden 37, 38 hits and you just fall off a cliff.
Yeah. Yep. One day you're like I know exactly what you're saying. It's like a running back. Basically.
Right, that's what I mean.
Right. Like Larry Johnson. Remember Larry Johnson when he was the best running back in the NFL and then the next year he was basically gone?
Sean Alexander was on the cover of Madden and the next year I think he was out of the league. I don't even think he lasted a full season on the cover of Madden.
You just only have so many good years in you in the blog world and he's the kind of the first to fall victim to it. I
wish he was here though, because did you get that tweet last night where someone said check Prez's DMs. I can promise you he was on Twitter during that time.
Oh, it really is straight out of Serial. If we can prove, we can look at the cell tower pinging that he was on Twitter at that moment. Oh.
The sex offender lottery question. You guys both stole my thing. And I remember another Office reference. Remember in The Office when Michael Scott just starts rambling and he's like, sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't know where it'll go? That was my answer to that question. I had no idea where I was going. I was like, yeah, the people in the cheap seats, and then we'll see what happens with this.
You could tell. I liked it. It came out well. How much is Big Cat loving the Mike Pereira right now?
I love it. Someone tweeted at me, this is what happened, though, because I was never going to do it again, and then someone tweeted at me, they're like, that made me want to puke when you went in the Mike Pereira pose. And I was like, well, now I'm going to do it every after show. Like, it's just such a relaxing. I got my feet up, just Mike Pereira all up in this joint.
All right, we calling it. Putting this one down.
Yeah, what a shitty fucking internet day. I'm on like 50-minute blocks between blogs right now.
And I wish and I know people will be pissed when we complain about this stuff, but there is nothing to blog about today. Brutal. I blogged the fucking screen cap from SportsCenter. Fuck, that was the worst blog I've ever written. We know it. Hey, guys, we know when it's a shitty blog day. Don't worry.
Yeah, you don't have to say this blog's an F. Trust me.
Tell us that Barstool's going downhill. We know today sucks. We are more self-aware than you realize. All right.
All right, later.
Later.